Hau Vam Vaduga Bhairavaya Namaha. This is Bhaskar Sharma. Dear spiritual friends, my humble namaste to all you good hearts. Today's discussion is on 4 questions raised by some of my friends. The first question is, what kind of person yearns for death? The second question is, who dies a good death and who dies a bad death? The third question is, who doesn't fear death? The last question is, who is free from death? Now let us come to the first question. Assume that God has granted 75 years of life for a person. Now this person who has wife and children has done his duties and accumulated wealth for him and his family. As a result, he has accumulated both good and bad karmas between 50 to 70 years, lives a normal life. When he is 70 years old, he falls ill and is bedridden. At this time, he is not able to eat well, not able to move. Some of his family members and other relatives get frustrated taking care of him. He overhears these words of frustration and feels so bad that he prays or sometimes even begs to God to take away his life. But God doesn't listen to his prayers and take away his life. Only after he suffers those painful 5 years and does God allow his Atma or Jivan leave his body. Death and who dies a bad death? Some of you may ask, what about people who die in an accident or commit suicide, etc.? Are these not bad death? Well, these are special cases and they are Arpa Ayul. We'll not talk about them. In this Kali Yuga, the common man thinks living above 70 or 80 years or 80 years of age is full lifetime or Purna Ayul. Unlike the first case, if the person lives without any illness, becomes gradually weak and dies very old age like 85 while uttering the name of God, it is a good death. So why does one die a good death in the second case and a bad death in the first case? Well, in the first case, the person had accumulated both good and bad karma till 70 years and had to undergo the pain due to that. In addition, he also would have had a bad lifestyle and food habits, etc. Bad food habits are mainly due to eating for taste of the food. If we eat due to taste, we end up eating bad food like fried items, chaats, etc. Eating for taste also can make us to overeat. Either way, in both cases, the food is not digested well and expended fully. We accumulated the excess in the body and it eventually becomes poisonous to us. In olden days, we used to work as farmers and used to eat good amount of food, but this food also gets digested well. Nowadays, we don't do farming ourselves and the food we eat is more than what we need. This is what leads to diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, etc. at the age of 30-40 itself. Eating preserved food is also bad for our health. If we live without harming living beings and follow good diet and lifestyle, we shall live without any illness and can live the full lifetime given by God to us without any pain. That is, we can die a good death. Okay, now coming to the third question. Who does not fear death? All of us would recollect someone in our friend circle or some celebrity who we think does not fear death. For example, they drive at 350 km per hour, go to forest alone, etc. But when these people are walking on the street and a tree comes down crashing before them for a moment, they are stunned. In fact, in today's coronavirus world, such a people get scared when a nearby person sneezes. This is nothing but the fear of death. So, we all should understand that there is no one who does not fear death. Now let us see the last question. Who is free from death? All the rishis, jnanis and siddhas who have controlled their prana are free from death. These people have controlled their prana and worshipped God always. In fact, they have been given birth to serve people and are capable to bless them. Such people are free from death. Finally, what I want to say is, since we are all working from home, our overall physical activity has reduced. So, we need to look at how much work we have done and eat accordingly. Eat only when we are hungry. Give a gap of 4 hours between meals. Many of our rishis, jnanis and siddhas like Tirumular, through their writings and other Puranas, have given us a wealth of knowledge on how to lead life. There is nothing we need to discover. Everything has been documented in our Puranas and other holy texts. If we follow them, then with the blessings of Rudrakali, Vaduga Bhairava and other gods, we all shall live happily and free of diseases. Thank you. Om Hrim Haum Aham Shivaya.